Hey, what's up, Coin Fam? In today's video, I'll give you a brief history of the Bi-Centennial Quarter, how to grade your quarter. Most importantly, we'll talk about what makes your Bi-Centennial Quarter valuable. Make sure you hang out until the end of the video. I'll talk about some recent Bi-Centennial Quarter sales. On October 23, 1973, the U.S. Mint made a press release announcing a $5,000 prize for each of 3 winners of a national competition for a new design for the back of the 1976 quarter. Jack L.R., who was a native of Cincinnati, Ohio, submitted a design depicting a colonial drummer along with a flaming torch surrounded by 13 stars. On March 6, 1974, he was chosen as the winner of the contest. The chief engraver, Frank Gasparo, made a few changes to the original design before it was finalized, but those changes were relatively minor. 1976 Bi-Centennial Quarters were minted at 3 different mints: Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. You can tell where a 1976 quarter was minted by looking for the letter to the right of Washington. An S is for the San Francisco Mint, a D is for the Denver Mint, and a no mint mark 1976 quarter means it was minted at the Philadelphia Mint. 1975 quarters were never minted. Instead, the Mint began producing the Bi-Centennial Quarters in 1975, and instead of the mintage year we normally see on coins, the years 1776 and 1976 were placed at the lower part of the quarter under the bust of George Washington. Here's the mintage for the Bi-Centennial Quarter. Philadelphia and Denver minted about 1.67 billion quarters in 1975 and 1976. These were business strike nickel and copper clad. These are the quarters we normally see in circulation. The San Francisco Mint produced 3 special edition coins during the same time period. These coins were minted and marketed to coin collectors. Here's the breakdown. Between 1975 and 1976, the San Francisco Mint produced over 7 million proof quarters, an estimated 11 million uncirculated silver sets, and about 4 million proof silver-clad quarters. Out of all the silver quarters minted, about 4.9 million silver uncirculated sets were sold with silver quarters, and about 3.9 million silver proof sets containing silver quarters were sold. There were about 15 million silver Bi-Centennial quarters made during these 2 years, but several million of them no longer exist. So what happened to these silver coins? They were melted by the government. In the 1980s, the price of silver spiked significantly, and the raw silver was needed for other projects. This period of time is known to collectors and numismatists as the Great Silver Melt. So we know that over 1 billion of these Bi-Centennial quarters were minted, and it's a good thing too, because so many of them were hoarded by collectors and average citizens because of their popularity. This practice has led to many mint state Bi-Centennial quarters that can still be found occasionally in circulation. So how much is your Bi-Centennial quarter worth? In order to determine the value of a quarter, several things must be considered, like the mintage, surviving population, demand, melt value, and the grade. Coins are graded on a scale from 1 to 70. The number grade is determined by factors like the condition of the surface of the quarter, how well the quarter is struck, its luster, and the quarter's eye appeal. The surviving population is what's still around after coins are retired, lost, or damaged. There's no way to know how many of any coin is still in existence, but estimates can be made based on several factors. Lower grade nickel-clad 1976 quarters aren't even shown prices on the PCGS website. For business strike Philadelphia and Denver minted Bi-Centennials, you'll need an MS-63 to have a quarter worth about $4. If you come across a Mint State 68, you're looking at about $5,200. Here's what a Mint State 68 quarter looks like. Notice the crisp, clean strike and the lack of blemishes and bag marks. Here's a Mint State 68 1976 Bi-Centennial quarter that sold at auction for $6,462. And here's what it looks like out of the slab. Take a look at the condition of the quarter. Notice the lack of wear on the coin. You can't tell luster from this picture, and there aren't many marks from other coins either. If you come across a quarter like this, someone probably dumped the collection, and you were the lucky recipient of someone's prized bicentennial quarter. In lower grades for the silver 1976 quarters, the price will be more driven by the current price of silver. You can expect a low-grade silver quarter to be worth between $4 and $6. Even at mint state grades, you're not talking about a huge price increase until your quarter is mint state 69 and above. Look at the value of the mint state 69, $12,500. You'd probably be surprised at how many errors and varieties exist on our coins, especially the state quarters. A lot of errors and varieties can be fun to find and collect, but they don't make the coin worth much more than face value. Here are a couple to look out for. This first one is rare, but errors like these can be found in circulation. This is called a struck-through error. This quarter was struck through a cloth that somehow ended up on a planchet before the coin was struck. There are also coins that get pieces of metal embedded into them during the minting process. This mint error was graded mint state 66, and it sold for $881. The next error is actually called a variety because it's a change to the original design that was embedded into the die from the hub during the die making process. As a result, thousands of quarters were probably affected by this altered die and unknowingly put into circulation. This variety is called a double die. A double die happens when the die isn't aligned with the hub for the second strike during the die making process. This results in slight doubling of some of the relief, but there have been occasions where the doubling was enough to see with the naked eye. If the doubling is on the front of the coin, it's called a DDO for double die obverse. And if it's on the back of the coin, it would be a DDR for double die reverse. If you're looking for double dies, a magnifier, loupe, or a coin microscope will make the task much easier. Take a look at some of my recommendations in the video details. Here's what you're looking for, courtesy of the Variety Vista website. This DDO can be on the 1976 Denver minted quarter. It's called the FS101 DDO. The most obvious place to see the doubling is on each of the letters of the word Liberty. So what's a 1976 Denver minted DDO worth these days? This variety will add a premium to any of your quarters, but the key to this, once again, is the condition of your quarter. This quarter graded AU, about uncirculated 58, and sold at auction for $690. I wouldn't normally think of trying to sell a double die on eBay, but this person did. Here's a mint state 67 DDO FS102 that sold for $450. And here's another DDO. This one sold for $3,246 at Heritage Auctions online. Here's a silver 1976 quarter. This bicentennial quarter was minted at the San Francisco Mint. This quarter was graded a Proof 70 DCAM. A proof coin is a coin that's struck differently than the business strikes. Proof coins are struck under greater pressure with dies that nowadays are heavily polished and treated with chemicals to give contrast between the field and relief of the coin. And they do this because these coins are intended specifically for collectors. The relief is the raised part of the coin, and the field is the flat surface not used for the design or inscription. Notice the frosty look of the relief and the light and dark contrast to the field. DCAMs are sure to bring a little more value to a coin, and believe it or not, it's not uncommon to find proof coins in change or in rolls of coins from the bank. This proof quarter, the one we were just talking about, sold for almost $1,900 at auction. Here's one that'll put a few extra dollars in your pocket. Good luck finding one of these in change, though. It's probably not going to happen. A man can dream, though. This is a silver 1976S, mint state 69, an almost perfect coin. This beauty sold at auction for $19,200. Here's a better look at it. Here's a recent 2025 sale of a bicentennial quarter. This quarter was minted at the San Francisco Mint, and it's 40% silver. It weighed in at 6.25 grams, and it graded a very high and desirable mint state 68. You can see some obvious signs of wear on the obverse of this quarter, but it's a nice strike, and it's almost pristine. Because of the high grade, this quarter sold at Heritage Auctions for $99. Take a look at this 1976 bicentennial quarter. It was minted in San Francisco, and it's 40% silver. At first, I thought someone tried to clean it because of all the scratches, but based on the grade, I think the scratches are on the plastic case. This is a proof quarter, and it has a nice cameo, but not nice enough to be rated deep cameo. This quarter is actually a mint error. If you flip the quarter over, the back of the quarter isn't aligned with the front. The quarter was struck with a rotated die. This error quarter sold at auction for $192. This is a regular circulated 1976 Bi-Centennial Quarter, the kind we find in pocket change all the time. If you happen to come across a Bi-Centennial Quarter in condition as good as this, it might be worth a little money. Despite the bag marks and wear on this quarter, it's still graded a mint state 67 plus. This quarter sold at auction on February 26th for $264. Here's another Bi-Centennial error coin. There's obviously something wrong with this one. It's the wrong color, and the planchet is too small for the design. Accidentally or intentionally, this quarter was struck on a copper penny planchet. It was submitted to PCGS for grading and came back a mint state 63. This penny quarter combination coin sold at auction for $2,760. If you come across a silver quarter, would you know how to tell if it was silver? That's something you really should know. Take a look at the video to the right to find out how to identify a silver quarter. Thanks for watching.